Alright, we're at the end of the first period. 24 seconds left. KC Scouts scored. I believe they were still on the power play. We had 2 penalties called on us there at the end to work. My camera orientation and everything's been a problem, so let me know how video quality is, audio is working. I'll try for commentary during the second. My voice is kind of cracked, so we shall see how this goes.
I'm going to try pressing pictures of you like that.
About to start the second period. Sorry for no score clock. I've only got one device here that's registered with admin status for sideline, so all we're going to have today is videography. Got Keeney, Trujillo, Tremaine up forwards, and we got George and Gavin out back. Tatum takes a shot. It's off the shin pad of one of his scouts. They chip it up the boards. Nader makes a play for it. Goes high and out of the zone. KC recovers. 2-on-1. Shot wide. Up in the glass. Carrying it in. Up against Gavin. Pushes it towards the boards. Gavin with it behind the net. He dumps it. Forwards go for a line change. Defense goes. One defense on them goes for a line change. Puck at center ice. Jack Davis recovers. Shot wide into the corner. Peter tries to put it on net. Goes behind. Andor attacking along the boards. He loses it. It gets up. Jack Davis makes a good play from his knees there. Hangs him up for a second, but KC recovers and pulls it in the zone. George goes for a dump off a KC stick and into their bench. George and Gavin switch up. Forwards switch up. We've got Paxson, Charlie, and Roman on for forwards. We got Wyatt and Will Fleming on B. Makes a play at the blue line. KC carries it in. Charlie Pater with it. Puts it around one, tries to push it up to Paxson. Paxson grabs it, dumps it deep. KC recovers it behind their net. Up the wall, Ike taps it in down to Snyder. Charlie tries to take a quick shot behind the net. KC up. Roman covers it. Neutralized there. Willie gets the cover. Minutes left here. Hope you guys can see beyond this netting. It's a pretty thick. Obscures the camera a bit. Face off back to Will. Will takes a shot. Pad saved by the goalie. Ike with it along the post boards here. Tries for a centering pass. Schneider tries for a tip. KC gets it. Off the boot of Schneider. Schneider puts it down low. Sorry, that was Roman that got the foot tap there. Charlie Patera with it. Ike with it on the blue line. Ike recovers, pulls it in the zone, gets past one, tries for a shot. Whiffs, centering pass. Nobody gets to it. Fleming with it. Fleming keeps it in the zone, tries for a shot into the shin pads of the KC scout. Cross-ice pass, Eichen recovers it, tips it up, the boards up to Trujillo. Trujillo shot off the stick of the goalie. just wide of the net. A little action down there in the corner. Keeney, Trujillo, Tremaine. We got Gavin and Boston for defense. Tremaine's going to take the face off. Wins it back to Trujillo. Tries for a quick shot. Can't get it off. Tremaine shot into the skate of the scout. Trujillo fighting in the corner. Tremaine puts it behind the net. Casey chips it up the boards. Centering pass in the neutral zone. Casey drops the puck.
Get him! Get him!
Casey with it in our zone. Shot wide. It glanced off the post. Kevin Davison along the boards. Up to Trujillo. Trujillo backhands it out of the zone. Casey with it in the neutral zone. Clears it in past the blue line. Shot wide. Casey with it at the blue line. Keeney chips it up the boards to Taden. Casey keeps it out of their zone. Into the skates of their own player as he's offsides call. Scout had a pretty good speed. His buddy was down on the ground. Couldn't get out of the zone. 1-0, 8:57 left in the second period. Good push both ways here. Peter, Jack Davis, and Paxton Schneider on the for offense. We got Ike and Nandor for defense. Jack in the corner to Paxton. Paxton to Ike. Ike shot. Pad save. Pushes it far side. Peter with a good tip. Keeps it in the zone. Casey gets it out. Ike putting pressure on. One-on-one with Nandor. Nandor gets the sweeping poke check. Pushes it towards the boards. It's out of the zone. Casey recovering down by their goal. Lots of pressure from Tremaine. Centering pass. Heater can't quite get on it. Nandor with it. Nandor puts it in front of the net. Really gets pads on it. Casey pushing up the side. Got 2-on-2. Ike putting a lot of pressure. Davis flicks it up the boards. Vinny Heater is able to get it out of the zone. Paxton picks it up, takes a shot. It's not quite. 1-1. Vinny chipped it up to center ice. Paxton recovers the puck, skates it in. Despite the back check pressure, is able to get the shot off. Pick the top deep passes, pull it into past our blue line. Pressure from Davis. Slick little pass up from behind the net. Casey untested with a quick one-timer. Got it in behind the Beast. 2-1 KC, 7:15 left in the second period. Same lines, line up again. Roman. Oh, we have a wing change. We have Keeney and Trujillo for wings. Fleming and Gavin out back. Or Tremaine centering. Sorry, I missed the whole line up there. Will with it. Up to Trujillo. Centering pass from Trujillo. Keeney picks it up. Keeney tries to get through skates. Goes for a centering pass. KC is able to get there first. Will Fleming with a hip check into the boards. Didn't play the puck, so they're going to call a penalty. We're going to get called for interference. Player had not gained possession of the puck. The body was not fair play yet. It's going to put us on our second penalty kill of the game. We've got Boston Gas, Wyatt Ike, Roman Stonebreaker, and Paxton Schneider. Ike put Schneider with the pressure, gets it with our KC player to skip up and get it out of the zone. Stonebreaker putting on the pressure. KC with it. KC chips it up. Player's not there. Boston chips it up on the boards. It comes off of the KC Scout player and then back into our zone so they get the offsides. Roman Stonebreaker taking the face off. Wins it back to Boston. Boston. Hard wrap around. Ike there on the boards. Casey's taps it back down behind our net. Boston there again. Paxton against the boards. Trying to put some pressure. Casey has it at the point. Ike down in the corner. Casey bobbles it. Gets to the centering pass. Wicked shot. I don't know, 5-hole maybe. Really low angle shot. Gets it to Tuck just inside the outside corner there and scores a goal. KC 3-1, 5:49 left in the second. Our penalty is goal for the goal. For exchange, Jack Davis taking the face off. Grant Taz and Vinny Heater with him. Got Gavin and George out back. KC chips it up off the glass. Vinny dumps it deep. We get called for a nice D-zone face-off for the Mavericks. Jack Davis with the face-off. Tied up in the skates. Will Fleming gets here. Or Gavin Davis, sorry. Jack Davis tries to chip it out. Off a KC player, they get possession, they start skating it in. KC in the corner. Up to his point. Point keeps it in, gets it back in past Grant Taz. Grayson Taz, sorry. Taz with it. Goes for a centering pass. Tries to get around KC. Pitches the boards. Vinny with it. Dumps it. KC. Oh, offsides on the line change. It's always a risk when you got it coming in that end zone door for the box. Patrick Snyder, Charlie Patera, Roman Stonebreaker. Paxton putting on the pressure. So we got Fleming and Ike back. Casey pushes it in, gets an icing call. Face off in Kansas City. Diesel. 3:57 left in the second period. 3-1. Casey. I'm going to take his face off. Ties it up. It's in the skates. Goes around the KC player. Gets it. Chips it up the boards. Fleming keeps it in. Schneider with it. Dumps it back to the boards. Will Fleming walks in. Down low. Takes a shot off the side of the net. Will with it still. Tries for a sending pass. Casey intercepts. Casey carries it. A lot of deep pressure. Casey loses the puck. Patera gets it in the neutral zone. Patera at the blue line. Keeps it in. Casey with it. Trujillo from the line change comes in. Rips a shot off the shin guards. Trujillo with it. Stick handling. Looking for something. Feeds it back to Fleming. Fleming rips a shot right into the goalie's chest. And he gets the save. 2-2. by Tremaine. T-squared. Abram Keeney. Got Boston Gas. Gavin Davis out back. Casey gets the face off down to the corner. Chip up off the boards. Good pressure from Gavin Davis. Gets the puck. Takes a shot. Pad save by the goalie. Casey close side trying to get it out of the zone. Up past Tremaine. Boston with it. Pushes Boston off the puck. Gets a pass off. Into the zone. Keeney putting on pressure. Boston Gas sugars that guy off. Casey at a blue line to get it back in the zone. Gavin's here. Behind the net. Over to Keeney. Keeney with it. Casey gets the puck. Puts it back deep. Shot wide behind the net. Casey with a shot or centering pass. Able to keep it out of the net. Casey dumps it. They get the tip. No ice. Boston Gas chips it up. Casey recovers at the blue line. Dumps it deep. Off the skate. Tremaine chips it up just enough to get it outside the blue line. Casey carries it back in and gets the offsides call. We have Jack Davis, Vinny Heater, Grayson, Taz. Those are our forwards. We're going to have, Will Fleming and George Nandor out back. Puck one back to George. George clears the far side. Neutral zone. Casey recovers. Grayson Taz up to Heater. Heater shot off the shin guards of Casey's. Vinny fighting in the corner. Jack Davis centers it up. Casey recovers. Cleared out of the zone. Nandor with it. Nandor dumps it deep. Vinny chases. Grayson chases. Vinny with it behind the net. Tries for centering pass into the skates. Comes up to our point. Casey pushes it out of the zone. Nandor dumps it back down deep again. Vinny pursues. Casey with it, chips up on boards. Schneider might have got a tip on it there. Nandor some pressure. Will Fleming. It's in our zone. Will tips it up past the boards. Gets it. Centering pass just over Schneider's stick. Time to relax in the second period. We are into the third. We have the home Casey Scouts at 3. Mavericks at 1. Trying to adjust the setting and it did not take and it canceled everything. I'm sorry about that. KC Scouts getting called with a hooking. With the face-off, Casey wins it back to the corner, passes it back behind their net. Fleming's not able to get there before it clears the zone. Fleming with it in ours. Across the boards, across the center to Davis. Davis with it, chips it back up, backhand to Fleming. Fleming with it. Up, tips off the KC Scouts. No ice. Trujillo making a push for it. Trujillo in the corner. Backhand pass, nobody there. Gavin rips a shot. Not sure if it hit a player or the goalie, but it went wide. Fleming with pressure. Casey pushes it in the neutral zone. Will Fleming dumps it back deep. Keeney with pursuit. Casey V over to their own, into the neutral zone. Casey with it, into the skates of Gavin Davis. Gavin kicks it. Casey recovers. Keeney passes it back to their point and puts it back in our zone. Gavin Davis with it, skating with it. The skate pass to himself, carries it in. Close side here. Behind the net, tries to center it up. Under there. Vinny Heater gets a shot off. Goalie stops it, covers it, stops the play. 10:25, third period. 19 seconds left on our power play. First power play of the game, I believe. Again, I apologize for the technical stuff here. Casey clears it out. Wyatt Ike with it in the neutral zone. Looking, passes it over. Grayson Taz gets it. Back to Ike. Off the boards. Ike with it. Casey pokes it. Keeps it in the neutral zone. Nandor with it. Backhand up the boards. Straight to Casey's D. Casey with it in the zone. Up the push side boards here. Wyatt chips it up. Jack Davis there. Putting the pressure on. Casey up the boards. And out. Casey tips it back to Nandor, tips it up to Ike. Ike putting the pressure on. Hung up at the blue line. Back sides. Lost our momentum there. Puck got hesitated on the blue line. Caused us to have an offsides there. Got Gavin Davis, Boston Gas out back. Paxton, Roman, and Charlie up front. Roman took the face off. Fight for the neutral zone. Stonebreaker. Stonebreaker back to Gavin Davis. Tries to get it back to Stonebreaker. Casey in the way. We're going to have an icing here. Roman's face off. Even strength. Runs it back to Gavin Davis. Gavin Davis pushes it behind the net. Boston Gas is going to fight for it in the corner here. Casey gets a stick on it. Roman with it. Gas up the boards. Chips it. Charlie Patera in pursuit. He's got Paxton Schneider with him. Casey gets it back in the neutral zone. Roman gets the puck up to Charlie. Charlie with it. Lots of pressure on. Gets a shot off. Wide to the left. Picks up his own rebound off the boards there. Tries to get back in front of the net. Casey pushes him off the puck. Gavin Davis fighting for it along with Avery Keeney. Still in the zone. Now it's out. Gavin Davis with it. Chips it back in. Casey in the corner. Keeney gets it. Tries to get a centering pass. Gets it up to Gavin Davis. Gavin Davis shot. Pad saved by the goalie. Another shot by Charlie Patera. It gets deflected wide. They've been taken down behind the net. Penalty called. Not sure who they're taking. They're taking possibly not Keeney. Sorry. Yep, Keeney. It's taking them both. No penalties, 5-on-5. Maybe a roughing and then a retaliatory. Not sure. Double minors for each team. 5-on-5. Tremaine with the face-off. Schneider, left wing. Will Fleming gets into the neutral zone. Dumps it low. T-squared. Hustles at the corner. Has the puck. Push up against the boards. Schneider trying to back him up. Casey carries behind the net. Up to the point. Carries it out of the zone through the neutral zone. Tries to push past Fleming. Fleming gets a stick on it. Casey pushes it deep. Paxton fighting for it up here. Tatum pushes it in the neutral zone. Recovers it. It's pushed. Puck still has it. Looking for a pass. Centers it up into the skate of a KC player. KC clears it. Ices it. 7:40 left in the third period. Deep face off for the Mavericks here. Another line change. We're going to have Jack Davis. No. We got Jack Davis, Vinny Heater, Grayson Taz. Out back we got Nandor and Austin. Jack Davis takes face off. Puts it over to Heater. Heater pushed off the puck. Nandor gets a shot off. Wide left. Grayson with it behind the net. Pushes it behind. Jack putting pressure on. Casey gets it up the boards to their point. Over to the neutral zone with the centering pass. They're pushing up. They're in our zone. Boston Gas putting pressure on. Pushes the player off the puck right behind the net. Gets it up to Jack Davis. Trying to get it out of the zone. Jack Davis recovers. Dumps it deep. On net. Pad save by the goalie. Vinny putting pressure against the boards here. Nandor up on the point. Casey centers it to their own player. Terra keeps it in with a foot. Dumps it deep. Vinny Heater in pursuit. Charlie putting pressure on behind the net. It's hung up. Casey recovers it. Casey up the boards. Centering pass. Nandor gets a tip on it. Still gets over the stick to his player. Boston Gas trying to play body. Casey player pushes back, keeps possession. It goes behind the net. Charlie with it. Up the far side here. Lots of pressure. Casey recovers it, gets it out of the zone. George jumps it deep. Goes behind the net. Paxton pursuits. Patera and Nandor are going to change up. We've got Patrick Schneider just pushing. Got Tayden with it. Tayden. Far side boards. Ripped shot down low. Stonebreaker against the boards. Casey has the puck. Deep behind their net. He'll score a pass and whiffs on it, but still gets a recovery, gets it to his player. Starts pushing up the boards. Casey able to chip it past the boards, go board pass to himself, comes down, and puts a 5-hole on Beast. It's 4-1 Casey. 5:37 left in the third period. White Tremaine, David McKinney, taking Shaquille up front. Boston Gas, Gavin Davis out back. Tremaine with face-off. Casey gets it to their own player. Casey, left side, into the zone. Pressure from Tremaine, pressure from Gavin Davis. Casey keeps it. Taps it off the back of the net. Loses the puck. We're trying to clear it up. Casey keeps it in. Ike with it behind. Puts it behind the net. Gavin Davis along the boards. Doubles back. Casey gets it. Casey with it behind the net. Looking for a centering pass. Doesn't get it off. Tremaine putting on the pressure. Casey to the corner. Back behind the net. Tries to carry it up front. Gets pushed off the puck. Gavin Davis with it. Gavin skating. Dump it. Chase here. Tayden goes after it. Far side corner. His body. Keeney with it behind the net. Gets pushed off the puck. Tayden on the pressure. Able to hold the guy up at the blue line. Pushes him off the puck. Gets it back in their zone just for a minute. Casey with the clear. Not enough momentum on the puck. No ice. Keeney close side gets a stick on it. Pushes it to a Casey player. Gets a shot off the padded Beast. Casey goes for a glove save, pops off the palm, back onto the ice, and they get another shot, goes wide. Gavin Davis trying to clear it, center pass to the KC scouts. KC with it, dumps it deep. Tremaine in pursuit. Tremaine, Gavin up. The boards to Keeney. Keeney with it. Chip pass, Casey steps him off the puck. And we're going to get called for a roughing. Hit after possession. Keeney will have a roughing call. Mavericks will be on a 1-minute penalty kill. 3:56 left in the third. 4-1 KC Scouts. 1 minute 30 seconds. My apologies. Roman with the face-off. Boston Gas. Will Fleming out back. And Paxton Schneider on the wing. Boston gets the puck up into the case and the player back down to the ice. He's able to chip it out. Casey recovers it, dumps it back in. They're offsides. Futures on face off, Roman. I see him late. Puts it back into our zone. Will makes a race for it. Will gets there. Flops in the air off the boards. Casey recovers, takes a shot. Pad saved by the Beast. KC wins a face-off up to their center. Takes a shot, whiffs. Coming with the pressure. Makes it to the net. Houston pushes it behind the net. KC with it. Roman chips it up over the stick of Schneider. Shouldn't have enough momentum. Schneider racing. Gets a shot. Goalie gets a save. KC player goes down into the boards. Lost an edge. No foul there, but KC player's not feeling great. KC player's going to make his way to the bench, I believe. Could not have felt good. KC gets it out of their zone, through the neutral zone. Round one, round two, looking for a centering pass. Pushes it up, off of the skate at Easton, right off the corner of the post. Roman chips it up off the boards, comes out of the zone, past Schneider. KC pushes it back in and gives themselves an offsides call. 2:41 left to go, 15 seconds left in our penalty kill. Jack Davis is going to take our face off here. He's going to have T-squared for support. Oh, change up. We got Wyatt Tremaine stepping in for Jack Davis. T-squared on the right. We got Wyatt Ike, George Andor out back. KC wins it back to their feet. They recover it. Skate in, right side, lose possession, squabble behind the net. KC picks up the puck, goes for a backhand. The net comes up from the backside, tips forward, comes off its mooring, and we have a stoppage of play for the net being off. Jermaine with the face-off, full strength. We've gained wing. Abram Cooney shot with Tatum and Tremaine. Andor and Ike still out back. Ike with it behind the net. Up the boards, chips it to himself. Races to get it. Gets there, hangs it up. Doesn't able to get it out of the zone. Loses his stick. Tremaine gets blown by here, and then KC along the backside. Tatum tries to push it up. KC scout recovers it. Takes a shot wide to the left. Keeney up boards, not able to get it out of the zone. KC Scott doing a good job, footwork, trying to keep it in. Gets it back down deep. KC with it behind the net. Pressure from Ike. Centering pass up in front of the net. KC is able to take the shot with the screen and put it in. Blocker side on the East. 5-1 KC, 140 left in the third period. Jack Davis is going to take the face off, supported by a mini heater and Grayson Tisnalda. We've got Will Fleming and Gavin Davis out back. KC wins it back, puts it close side here. Vinny tries to push it up. Vinny and Gavin.
Oh, yes, sir.
Or Vinny and Jack
yes,
against the boards. We're going to get a penalty called on the KC Scouts. Not sure what that motion was. Vinny got taken down. Roughing on KC. 128 left in the third. 130 going to go up on the penalty clock for them. We'll close this game out on a power play. Jack Davis taking the face-off. Gavin Davis here to the left, supporting him. Roman and Vinny lining up at the center. KC tries to clear up the boards. Gavin with it. Takes a shot off the shin guard of the KC Scout and out of the zone. Gavin recovers it. Takes it into our zone. Prepares some momentum. Chips it up to Gracie. Gracie tips it, but KC recovers it. Tries to skate through two players. Lined up for a check. Gets by both of them. Will Fleming with it. Far side. Around the back of the net. Skating up the side. Tips it up. He's not going to have enough momentum, but will. He gets there first. He has the puck in the corner. Try to make a play here. Tries for a centering pass. KC player kicks it. Grayson in the corner with it. Tries for another centering pass. Gets past Vinny. KC Scout. KC Scout carries it out of the zone. Dumps it deep. Gavin Davis is going to rush for it. 41.3 left in the third. Ice. Oop. Offensive zone faceoff for the Mavericks. We're going to have Paxton Schneider. Charlie Patera. Roman Stonebreaker. Backed up by Gavin Davis and Will Fleming. Feeds it up to Gavin Davis. Gavin Davis with it. Shot. Goalie gets a piece of it, but it bounces high and right. Goes in, far side. Gavin scores. Puts us up to 5-2. Mavericks. Our line will stay on. Penalty comes off the clock, 5-5. Roman wins the face-off over to Schneider. Goes deep. KC gets possession. Chips it up the board to their point. Board pass around Gavin. Centering pass. Shot taken. Flex off of Fleming's stick. High above the net. Off the back pass. Roman pushes it up. Charlie Patera there. Charlie along the board. Schneider goes for it. Skates over it. Charlie recovers it. They called offsides. Oh no, they called a penalty on... Penalty called on KC Scouts. Not sure what the penalty was. Maybe interference. 5-4 again. Roman with it. With the face-off. George on the right side. Gavin Davis at the point. Will Fleming at the point. Charlie takes a shot wide, goes around. Gavin recovers it at the blue line, dumps it back down deep into the corner. Goes behind the net. Charlie with it. Charlie goes for a centering pass. KC recovers it. And end of regulation. We have final score of 5-2. KC Scouts with the victory. Mavericks will line up for the handshake. No handshake. No handshake for the first of the two friendly games. The second game to come at 3 p.m. Probably a little later. 2:53 right now. So I imagine we'll get a quick ice resurface, and as soon as they're done with the resurfacing, the boys will resume play for the second game of the day and try to come out with a better outcome this time.